Do you feel it's gonna be a tougher fight for him?
It's going to be a super tough fight because Jack's bigger. You know, he's
Yeah.
a bigger guy. He's used to that weight, number one. Number two, he's well-rounded. He's good on the ground. He's good on the stand-up. He basically has good game plans. He comes in with a great game plan, and he punches really well. Good boxing, good kicking, good lean, good takedown defense, good jiu-jitsu, you know, good scrambles. He's good everywhere. Could take a good shot. This guy's a test for us. He's not an easy fight. If we prepare properly, we make this an easy fight, it's not because he was an easy opponent. We prepared properly, and we were fortunate enough to expose what we could and gain that position, but it could turn out to be a disaster fight also.
Javier Mendez has just shared his shocking insights on the upcoming clash between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena. On the other hand, Dan Hardy said he has long rated Jack Della Maddalena's boxing as among the best in MMA, but believes Islam Makhachev is moving up to welterweight at the perfect time, as his body can no longer remain healthy at lightweight and will naturally grow into the higher division's power demands. Comparing it to Terence Crawford stepping up against Canelo, Hardy sees Islam's well-rounded game as too difficult for any one fighter, predicting a competitive striking battle where Makhachev's kicks and overall grappling edge lead to a late submission win in the championship rounds.
Man, I've been high on JDM for a long time. You know, I remember doing interviews back when Ngannou was crossing over to boxing, and people were talking about who's got the best hands in MMA, and I was saying JDM at the time. I mean, his boxing's always impressed me. But at this point, I feel like Islam's moving up a weight class at the right time. You know, there are a lot of fighters that stay in a weight class for too long, and they seem to kind of stifle their physical growth. I don't think Islam can stay healthy and stay in that lightweight division for any longer. And I think right now he's allowed himself to move into a division where his body's just going to grow into it. He's going to be incredibly powerful. You know, I've been having a similar kind of conversation in my head with Crawford coming up against Canelo as well. You know what I mean? Like, what's Crawford going to look like going up a weight? And I think his body's ready to do it, same as Islam. And I just think Islam's all-round game is so problematic for any single fighter. I see him taking it, and I can see him probably a 50-50 striking exchange, Makhachev winning with a kicking advantage, but then his grappling and his wrestling taking over, probably winning by sub in the championship rounds.
Moreover, Carlos Prates said that while Islam Makhachev should be the favorite, Jack Della Maddalena has developed a lot since his earlier setbacks, showing improved skills and strong takedown defense against Bilal Muhammad, which makes him believe Jack can pull off the win, most likely by decision in a very tough fight, though whether Islam stays at welterweight or returns to lightweight would depend on how competitive the bout turns out to be.
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since his top fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Bilal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is gonna win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he lose, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
However, Javier Mendez, Islam Makhachev's coach, said the fight with Jack Della Maddalena will be extremely tough because Jack is the bigger man and fully adjusted to welterweight, praising his well-rounded skill set that includes sharp boxing, solid kicks, knees, takedown defense, jiu-jitsu, and scrambles, adding that Jack can also take a hard shot. Mendez emphasized that if Islam makes it look easy, it won't be because Jack was an easy opponent, but because of proper preparation and executing the right game plan.
Do you feel it's gonna be a tougher fight for him?
It's going to be a super tough fight because Jack's bigger. You know, he's
Yeah.
a bigger guy. He's used to that weight, number one. Number two, he's well-rounded. He's good on the ground. He's good on the stand-up. He basically has good game plans. He comes in with a great game plan, and he punches really well. Good boxing, good kicking, good lean, good takedown defense, good jiu-jitsu, you know, good scrambles. He's good everywhere. Could take a good shot. This guy's a test for us. He's not an easy fight. If we prepare properly, we make this an easy fight, it's not because he was an easy opponent. We prepared properly, and we were fortunate enough to expose what we could and gain that position, but it could turn out to be a disaster fight also.
Furthermore, Gilbert Burns backed Islam Makhachev's move to welterweight, saying the higher division fits his frame better. He views a fight with Jack Della Maddalena as very competitive, noting Jack's growth through training with Alexander Volkanovski and grappling ace Craig Jones. While Burns admitted he hasn't broken the matchup down in detail, detail, he expects a tight contest.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's #1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think. And JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Max Holloway said that many are overlooking Jack Della Maddalena, but he considers Jack one of the best in the sport and worthy of being ranked #2 pound for pound, adding that if the fight happens in October, it will be a difficult, intelligent, and exciting matchup, and he cautioned fans not to underestimate Jack.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is, you know, he's the #2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the #2 pound for pound in the world for a reason. So you gotta respect that, but. You know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Robert Whitaker shared that he thinks Islam Makhachev could perform strongly at 170 pounds, explaining that constant weight cuts at lightweight take a serious toll. He suggested Makhachev's strength might actually work better at welterweight and compared the situation to Ilya, calling it a $1 million question that everyone wants answered.
I guess that's the $1 million question. That's the question everybody's asking. And that's kind of the question. It's the same situation as Topuria as well. How good is Topuria? But what's he going to look like up weight division? Same with Islam. By all reports, though, the weight cut was really hard for him, like really, really hard. He's super strong for that weight division, which, you know, must translate well to moving up, making it a little bit easy cut. Maybe he gets a little bigger. It's yeah, I'm very that's the $1 million question. Everybody's asking the same thing.
Whitaker added that predicting Makhachev's adjustment at welterweight isn't simple, as jumping weight classes always brings uncertainty. Still, he feels Islam has all the skills Belal Muhammad has, only sharper.
Definitely, but like I said, it is hard to try to get like an accurate gauge on what it's going to look like, not knowing how Islam is going to look when he moves up. Okay, it's always the question everybody asks when anybody is moving up a weight division or down a weight division. Okay, there's so many unknowns involved. But saying that, I think that Islam can do everything that Belal does, but way better. Okay, way better.
Craig Jones said Jack Della Maddalena has the best scrambling ability in MMA and that the size advantage makes him capable of beating Islam Makhachev, pointing out that Islam had difficulties on the mat with Alexander Volkanovski and predicting Jack could create similar problems, while also wondering if Islam would go back down to face Ilia Topuria if he were to lose.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes? I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive, and now he's facing a guy that's best scrambling ability period in all of MMA. I think that's what Belal struggled with. So I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think. And we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses?
Belal Muhammad himself argued that Islam Makhachev would be able to take Jack Della Maddalena down, highlighting his top-level wrestling. He said even in his own meeting with Jack, it required full dedication to secure a takedown. Belal also complimented Islam's camp for building precise strategies and carrying them out effectively.
How do you think Islam versus JDM goes down?
Honestly, I think Islam probably take it down. Like, Islam's wrestling really good. Like, even with me, I like really committed to it. I took it down. Their team's so good at like hacking in game plan and sticking to it.
Jorge Masvidal leaned in favor of Islam Makhachev, acknowledging Jack Della Maddalena's sharp striking and solid takedown defense, but stressing that Islam's wrestling operates on a higher level, predicting Jack might shine early with his boxing before Islam's relentless pressure and grappling take control as the fight progresses.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is, though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Bilal.
Bilal has the best cardio in MMA, but Bilal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Bilal never stops a dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Chael Sonnen raised the question of whether Makhachev would remain at welterweight and rebuild toward a title shot if he lost to Jack, or if he'd return to lightweight. He explained that in MMA, nothing outweighs the drive for championship gold, pointing to examples like Ilia Topuria as proof that the belt remains the ultimate goal.
If he loses to Jack, does he get right back in the mix at 170? His way back to that title shot. Is that what he does, or does he way back down to 155 pounds? Was Ilia what he's going through now? What it is Islam in the announcement that we just got? What I'm attempting to prove to you is there is nothing in this sport that matters more to the fighters than the weight.
Philip Rowe also weighed in saying he would side with Jack to come out on top, doubting whether Islam has the physical build for welterweight and arguing that Jack's power, along with his ability to stand back up, would overwhelm him, leading Rowe to predict a stoppage victory for Della Maddalena.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chillin'.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in a fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop at Islam.
Ian Machado Gary praised Makhachev and said that if he does move to welterweight, the whole division should be on alert. He described Islam as dangerous, highly skilled, and potentially even better without the stress of cutting down. Gary called him the prototype of a modern MMA fighter, disciplined, technical, and a genuine threat to all.
And if that man turns up and says, I want to be next, then I think everyone in the welterweight division goes, okay. He's an absolute disaster for everyone in the division if he comes up and doesn't have to cut weight. He'll still be big, he'll still be strong. He's the perfect example of the new evolution of fighters. Great everywhere.
Renato Moicano considered the potential fight even. He pointed out that Islam has great grappling and is physically strong at lightweight, but moving up brings new hurdles. Moicano stressed that Islam would need proper time to add size and adapt to stronger opponents, which makes the matchup balanced.
So Islam versus JDM, I think they probably should be even, you know, because even though Islam is a good grappler, he's big for 155. He's moving to 170. We never know, you know. I think he needs to take some time to work on to gain weight, to gain power, you know, to gain strength. So that's why the odds are even, and I think they should be even.
Navajo Sterling argued that Jack Della Maddalena would dominate Makhachev if they fought. He felt the fight would be so one-sided that it would make a future clash between Islam and Ilia Topuria less appealing. Sterling pointed to Jack's size and accurate mid-range striking as big obstacles for Islam, making it hard to close distance or shoot takedowns. He also stressed that Islam wouldn't enjoy his usual size edge in this matchup.
You picked JDM to win. Now he's got a big challenge in his first title defense against Islam. Do you think he's got what it takes to beat an Islam Makhachev in his first defense?
People are going to say it's a wild take, but I reckon JDM smokes Islam. Shins him so bad. It's going to be so bad that the Topuria Islam thing will just be gone.
Do you think Islam's wrestling won't be a threat to JDM just because he's a lot bigger?
He's a lot bigger, and when you watch JDM, you put him on the end of mid-range, he's just going to throw. That's hard to shoot in on. He's not going to be able to just abuse his size against him either. I think Islam's in for a rude awakening.
Alexander Volkanovski studied the potential fight and said Jack's showing against Belal Muhammad gave him the perfect preparation. He believes stopping takedowns in that bout boosted Jack's confidence massively. Volkanovski added that Jack's takedown defense has made serious progress, which could make it difficult for even the best grapplers to control him.
Islam Makhachev is going to be fighting Jack Della Maddalena. How do you think those two match up?
I think Jack's fight against Belal was a perfect fight for leading into that. Just purely, you take a lot out of stop and takedowns, because again, there's every fighter's still going to have little doubts that are going to creep in. I'm sure Jack was going through that, being like, all right, worried about, what if he takes me down and all that. But the fact that he was able to stop it and feel so comfortable, I guarantee you he's leveled up again. His confidence in his takedowns has just went up significantly leading into this fight. I think his confidence is going to be at a whole nother level. So through camp, I guarantee you, if he's back in training right now, people trying to take him down are going to find it almost impossible. Only the top guys are going to have a chance of taking him down, and they're going to have a very hard time even holding him down.
Coach John Wood said the pairing of Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev is excellent. He explained that Jack's bout with Belal Muhammad gave him real-time experience with that style, though Islam applies it more effectively. Wood believes Jack's constant growth and boosted confidence make it compelling. On the feet, he favors Jack, but said the real question is whether Jack's defense against takedowns can hold up.
I like it. I think that's a great fight. I feel like if Jack can keep building upon what he did in his, in against Belal, I mean, he's seen that style now from a champion, and it's very similar to what Islam's going to do. I think Islam does it a little bit better. So as long as Jack is improving and getting better and his confidence is there, it's very interesting. I feel like on the feet, I think Jack's got him on the feet. It's just that obviously if that takedown defense can hold up, that's the thing.
Wood went on to compare betting against Islam to betting against Kamaru Usman during his peak, saying it's a risky move. He admitted there are flaws in Islam's entries and some gaps that Jack could exploit, but until someone cracks the formula, Makhachev remains a nightmare to deal with on the mat.
With Islam, obviously everybody is it's one of those things where you can't bet against Islam at this point in time until you see a chink in the armor. It's like betting against Morocco. You can do it. It's not a smart bet, but until someone figures out that puzzle, I don't know. Islam is a different kind of cat on the ground, and his striking is not bad. He's going to come at you and get you to strike, and eventually, take a shot. There are some holes in his game and holes in the entries, and obviously, being Team Khabib, there are definitely some things that you can expose to get that win. And if Jack figures that out, I think it'd be the long night for Islam. But again, I wouldn't bet against Islam until I see somebody kind of break that code.
Jack Hermanson commented that predicting a fighter's move to a new division is never straightforward. He said Makhachev looks close to unbeatable at lightweight and could even be the best pound-for-pound fighter there. While unsure if that dominance will continue at welterweight, Hermanson still leans toward Islam. He added that Jack looked strong against Belal Muhammad, but more fights are needed to gauge his full potential.
Yeah, it's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really, really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, we need to see a few more fights with Jack. He looked amazing against Bilal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is just so good.
Henry Cejudo predicted Makhachev will defeat Jack Della Maddalena and secure a second UFC belt, calling it the natural next step in his journey. Kamaru Usman, however, sided with Jack, praising his calmness in tough spots and saying he has the qualities needed to hold on to the title. Both fighters expect this matchup to land in Abu Dhabi in October, which would push any Islam versus Topuria fight further down the line.
I think Islam Makhachev is going to beat him. I think he's going to become the 11th double champ in UFC history.
Islam tweeted, keep it shiny, keep it nice for me. JDM, I mean, it was kind of like the perfect comeback. He was just like, yeah, come get it.
Keep my belt clean. Okay, so the Talking has begun, dude. That fight is set. That fight's gonna take place in October, Abu Dhabi. I think we all know that. We're no longer gonna get Ilya versus Islam Makhachev just now.
Dustin Poirier stated that the fight may be decided in the opening minutes, depending on whether Makhachev lands early takedowns. If he does, Poirier favors him, but if Jack stuffs those attempts, his reach and punching power could swing things. Poirier also pointed out that Islam's striking often looks awkward because rivals are always worried about his wrestling.
Do you think he beats Jack Della Maddalena?
I think we'll find out first, second round how much trouble he has getting him down. I think if he gets those takedowns, he's gonna get the win. If Jack can stop those takedowns, which he does have good takedown defense, I think the boxing and the size could wear on Islam and give him some problems. But his striking's, awkward and different. You have to worry so much about the takedown. You can't plant your feet and throw off those number combinations and really rip and sit on your punches because he's going to change levels. So it changes the way you fight. Well, for me, it did. I'm speaking from experience. So we'll see how Jack approaches and how Jack executes out there. But if you're worried about takedowns, your shots are different. You're not sitting on everything and standing in front of the guy. You're trying to move and be light on your feet. I think the first 2 rounds will tell us how this fight's gonna go.
Charles Oliveira described the matchup as a true stylistic duel. He said Jack is a patient striker who chips away at opponents gradually, while Islam's game plan will revolve around grappling. For Oliveira, the entire fight comes down to whether Jack can keep it standing.
O que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é jogo muito complicado, porque ele é cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora no luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Isla vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Isla agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
That's it for today's video. So what are your thoughts on this fight? What do you think about their matchup? We would love to hear your thoughts on this clash. So share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. Also check out our other latest videos on the screen right now.